You know what sound that is, folks? You betcha. It's another Noon Whistle. I'm Chris Strottier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and we are here with John Handel. John, welcome back. I'm not sure the number of times you've been on, but it's been
Gold jacket. It's gold jacket worthy.
We're getting
gold jacket, but it hasn't been in a long time. So that's either one of two things, really good or really bad.
Well, we know you've been really busy, and we didn't want to bother you. And we're going to talk about how busy you've been when we dive into fall sports here a little bit. So I'm gonna tee you up a little bit with a sport, and then we'll kind of walk our way through that.
Sure.
All right, let's talk tennis first. How'd tennis go this fall?
Tennis, we had one group that had a student. Sorry about that. I got to turn my walkie-talkie off. We had a group of doubles players, Peyton Williams and Charlotte Meyer, qualified and finished sixth in number one doubles. Alex Trost also made it in singles to the second round. Trost and Williams both made it to state all 4 years. I know Alex got to the 100 win mark as a 4-year varsity tennis player. So those three young ladies are on the Mount Rushmore of Elkhorn girls tennis in the last 25 years, maybe all time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
I don't know.
So they tied for the conference championship. So yeah, a lot of good things this past year with girls tennis.
The numbers look really good too. Just when you see practice and stuff, is that correct?
Yep, good numbers. And I think it's a sport that a lot of kids can play, and they get to compete, obviously, but they also get to compete and feel like they're getting a little bit better. I think most kids that go out for tennis feel like they get a lot better during the season. So we have a good coaching staff and a lot of success, which has been really good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to volleyball. Volleyball had a nice season. Great game against Oregon in the regionals.
Yeah, they finished third place in the conference behind Burlington and Westosha, who are both perennial good teams. Our coaches are putting a lot of time into get that alignment built between their youth programs and their high school programs. Once again, tons and tons of kids out, which is really cool. Ended up losing in that first round tournament game to Oregon, but had a really nice season overall.
Yeah, they were. I watched the Oregon one, and they were right there. There was times you thought, all right, here we go. We're going to turn this around, and some good games.
Got control of that in that second game, but then ended up losing a little momentum in the. And Oregon had a nice team. It's a nice place to play. Good, nice, really nice setup over there.
Yeah. Well, let's throw in
football.
Football. Let's go football then.
Yeah, football. First 8-win season since I think 2010. Something.
I think it was 4, John. I think
2004. So it's been that long.
I saw something from you that said 2004.
Okay, 2004. They had a second round playoff berth, second time in 2 years, but it had been a long time. We got our first home playoff game since 2015. That was the Tom Lee quarterback sneak year. Trotz probably remembers that.
Legendary.
Yes, and so
I think at Burlington to win conference, I think he did it. How many times? I mean,
a lot more than 5, I think.
See, I feel like Tom is such an innovator. He was ahead of the tush push.
Yeah. Innovative for sure. So they ended up running into a pretty good team up at Homestead this last weekend. But anytime you can get to the second round, the obviously the air gets rarer and rarer as you move up. But Homestead, perennial state powerhouse and a nice team. So I think the one thing that was pretty impressive about watching them, even though they didn't have tons of kids on the Homestead team, they had a lot of kids playing, 2 platooning, and just having kids play both ways, which I think is nice.
Their head coach, John, do you remember coaching against him?
Yeah, Ortman,
Waterford guy, yep.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really good team those years in basketball.
Yeah, was he about your age?
Little younger.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, pretty good player.
Well, football was really fun to watch this year. I mean, all their games were fun to watch. They were very, very competitive and a lot of wins. But
they definitely have an identity of how they play.
Yeah.
So that's as far as fan support, Friday night football is by far our biggest events for high school kids coming to. So we'd like to see participation in terms of our student section go up in a lot of other fall sports, but in football we still have really big crowds.
Yeah, we're kind of going out of the box here for football before we move on. We had our 7th grade youth team was Youth Football League Super Bowl champs this year, right?
Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that's cool. I think that once again shows the alignment and how hard those youth stakeholders are in terms of, running the same offense that they run when they get to high school. So the more repetitions you get, the better off you're going to be. And the more you get the chance to play together with your own classmates, I know all that helps when you get to high school. So hopefully that's not the best football memory those kids have in 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
But it's obviously a pretty cool thing to have. That's really not going to do anything but bind more kids together. That's important.
Mm-hmm. All right. You want to pick the next one?
Yeah. Well, what do we got next? Oh,
boys soccer. Okay. They regional championship for the 10th time in a row.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty unparalleled. Ran into a really good Whitefish Bay team in the sectional semifinals last Thursday up at Whitefish Bay. But a really good season. And I would say the transition year between Coach Kaiser, the dad, and Coach Kaiser, the son, went really, really well. And those things are difficult because it's a really high culture bar that's been set there. And I think most of those kids on that team adapted really well to the coaching change. And obviously the play speaks for itself. So, yeah, really good season.
I will say this, and I think one of the most impressive, most telling things about the Elkhorn community and our school and district culture. What do you think at that sectional semifinal game at Whitefish Bay, which it was not an easy drive because there's so many road closure. I think it was at least 2 or 3 to 1 Elkhorn fans to Whitefish Bay.
Yeah. And Elkhorn travels well. Always has.
Was this the first year that Whitefish Bay was back in Division II?
I think they've been in division back and forth between Division II in terms of enrollment. Now with competitive balance, they'll get moved back up to Division I. We've ran into them and Oregon an awful lot during the series. Awful lot.
Who do you think Josh Scatrud was rooting for?
He's rooting for Whitefish Bay without a doubt.
He was. As assistant principal at Whitefish Bay High School.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed having conversations with some of the old players who were around and some of the current coaches. Vince Umnes played for him, obviously, on that.
It's good to see him.
Yeah, it's good to see him.
All right, who we got next?
Cross country girls. We got
swimming.
I was gonna dive into
swimming. Yeah, that's good.
I had it all set.
We can talk swimming. Swimming. The girls and the boys seasons parallel each other in terms of length. So when everybody else is pretty much done, girls swimming is still going on. So last week they had their conference meet at Beloit Memorial, finished 3rd. They'll be back at Beloit Memorial in a sectional this weekend. So hopefully we get a few kids through to the state meet, which would be Friday of next week, which is the 14th at Waukesha South. If you've never been to a state swim meet, go treat yourself to that. It's a pretty cool venue at Waukesha South High School. Really cool venue.
Long season.
A longer season in the fall, especially, and then in the wintertime, it feels like it's the shortest season because it runs shorter because they run obviously the same length of time. So hopefully we get some girls through. I know they've had a really good and very competitive season.
How about cross country?
Cross country, we had a freshman, McKenna Guth, qualified for state and ran really well up there. Her sister Haley went last year, so hopefully next year we can get both of them there at the same time. That would be really cool. The girls cross country program is growing in terms of numbers, and numbers creates competition, and competition creates opportunities like this. So I would think they have a really solid chance to be even a potential conference champion as early as next year in girls cross country. Boys are still building, still need more numbers of kids out. We have enough kids obviously for a team, but we'd like to get our depth built up in terms of the boys.
And then lastly, girls golf, they plugged away. Rish and Malvitz, just nice season. Bunch
of kids. They have a bunch of seniors on that team, so really senior driven. I don't think anybody qualified for sectionals from Elkhorn, but they had a pretty competitive season. And we don't want to forget the equestrian.
There you go.
State qualifier, right?
Credit to John Anzalone and the Fund 80 Club. And we had a gal who had approached us, two gals that approached me at some point last spring about getting an equestrian team together. And so we have an equestrian team, and they basically just wanted recognition as a sport through their state association. So joined forces with our school district. So now we have an Elkhorn-based middle school and high school equestrian team. And they had, I don't want to say 8 or 9 kids that qualified for state. So that's cool. We have, as I know, we speak to the numbers. I don't think people in education brag about themselves enough or brag about the things that they do. And I think that's one of the reasons you guys do this show. But our number of participants in extracurriculars, clubs, and activities is over 90%. So wow. If you want to do it, we'll find a way to make it happen. So we have all kinds of great things. This was never, we didn't want to miss anybody here, and hopefully we didn't, but I'm sure we did. We also have a musical coming up in next weekend. So there's all kinds of things going on here.
So I'm going to interject something real quick. We were talking about equestrian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know those like debates you had growing up around sports, like who's the greatest leadoff hitter or greatest wide receiver? So I was a part of a debate. I just listened. And the debate was, of all the sports, who's the greatest athlete? Right? And I will quote a SLC legend, Tom Regal. He said jockeys are the greatest athlete.
Why?
He just said they're great athletes.
He didn't qualify it?
Yeah. So I just thought I'd share that. It's pretty fascinating. Yeah. So that's an endorsement for the equestrian program.
I don't have a comeback to.
Neither did I.
Speaking of shout out,
I think what he's saying is that their competition level is the same. So if you weigh a little bit more than the next guy, the other guy's got to put a little weight on his back. So I mean, in terms of, it's not like 2 NASCAR drivers with different cars. It's
see, this is where the conversation went. I
do think there are better guys. The guys that hang close to the rail are the best jockeys. I know that from my days of watching dog jockeys. Had one of the greatest jobs I ever held in my life.
Was that what, Lake Geneva?
Geneva Lakes Kennel Club, yeah. I was a pari-mutuel there. A lot of teachers worked there. Greg Prince worked his way up.
All right, big announcement. What do we got coming up this weekend? You said
we have Run for Randy. I can talk a little bit about it. Tell me what I forget. They are still taking registrations. It's on Saturday at 10 o'clock on Market Street behind or over by the maintenance shed. So this is the 3rd annual. To have over 400 and some runners is a testament to, once again, how Randy Wolf was an incredible person, husband, father, teacher, coach, friend, you name it. He was the best. So people who want to come out and be a part of this, there's certainly still room for you. The registration is $45, and you can find that on runsignup.com, and then just look for Run for Randy with the number 4. So, and I'm guessing we probably had that pushed out on all of our social media things throughout the district.
We did. Hey, I would like to just inject here real quick. Thanks to all of our sponsors this year who posted banners out at the football soccer field out there. It was great. We threw it out kind of late and said, we'd like to do some sponsorships, and people responded. So thanks to all of you that purchased a spot on the fence.
Yeah, that was a nice partnership. I appreciate it.
We have another opportunity for that in the future, John?
We will. We're going to do it again in spring for spring sports. They'll go on the other side of the football soccer stadium by the softball fields, which is heavily used between not only softball, but our youth baseball, youth softballs, Special Olympics. And there's a lot of traffic there. We host a couple tournaments.
Where do the proceeds go to?
The proceeds go to our athletic department.
That's awesome. And a little reminder to head over to Mobile and get some gas over there, right?
That's right. We got the pump over there at BP. BP at I-43 and Highway 11. 2 cents of every gallon goes towards the Elkhorn Education Foundation. And they were so generous to do that. You'll see the purple and gold pump.
And then I got an announcement too. Pretty excited. I just told John Anzone here. We have been working closely, our youth build, with Walworth County Housing Authority and Habitat for Humanity. And it looks like Our youth build will be on an upcoming project right on 2nd in Wisconsin at the old Bob's Flooring. And we'll be working on that to create some workforce housing. So
That's
pretty
really
exciting. Yeah. Good things happen in Elkhorn, John.
Yeah, I want to mention real quick that the most common thing I heard at homecoming this year from all of the old timers and alumni was, where can I find an Elkhorn score of a sporting event? And the Elkhorn Elks website is no longer serviceable, as they went from free to like $2,700, and we just decided to not do that. Wiz Sports, which many of you guys are familiar with, is kind of dying way of Max Preps taking it over. But if you're unfamiliar with a site called Bound Wisconsin, BOUND, Wisconsin.com, they are up right now. It's set up for football, boys and girls basketball, but will eventually be the portal where you can find all things Southern Lakes and all things Elkhorn based. So we're in the process of making that happen before this next year. So it's a ever-changing landscape of things, and it's a lot of these for-profit based things go from letting you get your hands on it to wanting to charge you a lot. But if I'm an Elkhorn person and I want to check out a score, particularly for boys and girls basketball for this next year, this winter season, go to Bound Wisconsin. There's nothing up there right now for gymnastics or wrestling, and that's unfortunate. But I think as they build this, they'll eventually have all of that there.
Good.
That's exciting. It's exciting that people want to find out, want to follow.
Yeah, I agree. It's a finding scores can be a difficult challenge, and getting there's so many different stakeholders. The Arbiter, our school people, had a lot of run in the market for a long time, and now there's a lot of different people trying to make it work. So it'll take all of the state associations a little while to sort this out. But I think once it gets sorted out, I think if you check out the Bound site in particular, you'll be pretty impressed. So they're going to be the stat portal and all things.
All right. I got one last question for you, John.
Mm-hmm.
As how long did you coach? Were the head varsity basketball coach at Elkhorn?
I think 17 or 18 years.
If you had NIL money, who would you give some to?
I'd have given it to all the guys on the team.
All right, I like it. Good answer.
An equal amount. I don't know.
John, before we wrap up, thanks to you and all your hard work and all the challenges you've overcome, and the coach's culture and things like that you've injected to all the programs. I can't help but think that all of that is a part of why things are kind of coming together for so many sports. So thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate both your guys' helps in all the advice and all of the background things. We, I think, have a pretty good staff in terms of alignment and what our mission and vision is and how we want to play this thing out. And I think our coaches and all of our stakeholders and guys like you who are part of the dream team, we're all in it together.
We're all in together.
Yeah.
All right. We got to go. John, you got to get to Union Grove, don't you?
Yes.
I got to get to Union Grove. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me on. We'll do it again soon.
Yeah. Thanks again, John.
You bet, John. Take care.
care.